None. Makes no sense. It just doesn't even make it doesn't. How are you okay with that? How do you just like, I guess there's no 24/7 view of the Earth. Oh yeah, well, they got important things to do, and they've been in orbit
This is
18
just
years, and
this is
there's no
philosophical mumbo
24/7. Yeah,
jumbo. It's good to
why not?
talk about.
Yeah,
It's
but we
good to
have the
philosophize about.
Himawari
We can go either way with
camera
it.
that shows
But everything he's saying
Australia.
is not even
Yep, it'd be
proving
real tough to take some high altitude
anything
plane
about the flat
footage
Earth.
and wrap it on a ball. Probably take them about, what, 4 or 5 minutes?
It's all
And those
buzzwords.
pictures come across when? Oh, 10 minutes after they're taken. Interesting.
Bullshit artist.
I wonder what they could be doing during those 10 minutes. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you just got the moon nonsense. I mean, come on. If that is the biggest sign for me. And that's another thing. Talking about people like other researchers that do poor research on me. I mean, you think I'm supposed to take Red's rhetoric serious? The guy thinks we went to the moon. I mean, come on. I mean,
He's trolling.
that's hilarious.
He's trolling.
That's funny. I mean, there's no other deciding factor. There's no more like line to draw in the sand than somebody who believes that humans have been to the moon. I don't know if you guys listened to Theo Vaughn. He was on Joe Rogan. He also was on.
Wait, but isn't it funny, Jeranism? You're not even going to address this article, which you're not going to address. Again, as I explained, this article explains what you're about, which explains to the layman, explains that you don't have shit. But to the deeper thinker, to the critical thinker, it explains what I know about you, which is you're a bullshit artist. You don't believe in what you are selling because you know for what it is, but you don't believe in it. But it makes you money, and that's just what you're about. But you're a salesman, you're a bullshit artist, and I point out how you are with your own words. I haven't made anything up about you, haven't attacked you personally, haven't had to say anything negative about you. I'm just using your own words and just slowing it down because you're a bullshit artist. You are slick with your words, but people can be fooled by it because, again, people should be asking themselves, hold on, here's Jeranism in a mainstream article, The New Yorker. Perhaps he should be addressing what these people are saying because these people are not saying anything libelous about him. They're not saying anything untrue about him. But he seems to have an issue with this article. He's not going to address what his issue is. He can't. Because to address what his issue is with this article is to kind of address him, which is the fact that, well, your experiment really didn't prove the flat earth. That wasn't the conclusion. So with that said, you don't have anything. And because you don't have anything, well, what are you really doing? Again, it's filler. And the reason why I have an issue with this quote about if you tell your car isn't blue and I ask, well, what color is your car? Don't fucking tell me I don't know, but it's not blue. What color is your fucking car? Now, I think the reason why he included that quote in there as it stands with the swear words is for two reasons. A, because you are an arrogant person with an ego so big that it's just outrageous that you would talk to anybody like that. I mean, and maybe this is just a personal thing, but I just find it very rude to swear at somebody when it's not warranted. I mean, it's like that example you gave, if you gave it, which I'm assuming you did because you didn't say that you did it, it sounds like something you would say because only an arrogant person would say something like this. To swear like that, I feel like you're covering up for something. I feel like it's like people who do that, uh, it's almost like a bully tactic, you know. And the one thing about bully tactics and these kinds of things is that the people who do these kind of things, I don't think they really believe it. Because if you really did, you wouldn't have to swear. The beauty of the logic would stand alone. That to put swear words in it would make it ugly, and you would know it's ugly. You'd be like, man, my logic is so good that he'll get it, and that's why I have a problem with that because it's so unwarranted. But it speaks to your personality, because only someone who has your personality could do something like this, who can sell something that they don't believe in. You know, you know, because the analogy is so. I mean, even if you say, well, it's a simple analogy because you're not going to deny what's blue. I get that, but you put it in such a way that the analogy just makes no sense. Even just doesn't make any sense. You're not explaining anything about the Earth being flat. You're not proving anything about the Earth being flat. And people who read that understand that. And that analogy at the end just shows that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and that you're essentially a bully. That's essentially what it shows. Which again, you are. So this article is, again, it's weird that the mainstream media is correct, which is how I know you are shill, because they're actually hitting on all the points. Because only a shill will put himself in position to actually use profanity like that. And you're the type of person who talks about how you don't use profanity and how, oh, well, I try to control myself and there's a time and place. The time and place for you to use profanity is talking to a reporter from the New Yorker. I would think that's a time where you wouldn't use any profanity, almost just for the reason, just to be like, hey, I made it a point not to even swear at all. That way it can't even be perceived I said anything negative. I made sure to be super positive. I, I mean, you are a shill. Now, I can make video after video breaking down all the things you said, but you won't even address this article. And you're almost like, you'll go this whole video without addressing this article. And I already know because you're just a bullshit artist. But and you're a shill on top of that for flat Earth. I mean, you obviously are. I mean, because only a shill would say something like this, will expose themselves to say something like this. Because to the average person reading this, you look like an arrogant, know-it-all, don't know nothing prick. This is the way it reads. I mean, this is a reporter. You don't know this reporter. He doesn't know you. You don't know him. He's there. Yeah, he doesn't believe what you believe, but he's just there as a reporter. And your instincts is to do this quote, you know, don't fucking tell me I don't know, but it's not blue. What color is your fucking car? And you thought to yourself, this was logical. Again, only a shill would think that because it makes you look like a bully. Because most people who are decent would say to themselves, wait a minute, you don't know this reporter. Are you going to talk to him like that? Even if you're using it as an example and you're saying, hey, I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm just using it as an example of the car. Even within the example itself, you're going to really use profanity like that? Because it's already, just reading it, it comes off as aggressive. I mean, I don't know if this reporter checked you and would have been like, hey, like, do you know how to be professional? Like, even if this is your ideology, this is also your job too. You make money from this. You gotta be a little professional. But again, you're like a shill, so it's kind of like you don't really have to be professional. You did your job. This looks bad. The fact that you're gonna be a bully and use profanity like that, never mind the conclusion of what this reporter is actually saying, which is true, which is just the fact that you don't have anything, you haven't come to nothing, and on top of that, you're just pushing your ideology of flat Earth in a bullying way with profanity.
Eddie Bravo's show, or he had Eddie Bravo on his. He's not a conspiracy guy. He's afraid of it. Really, he's very new to it all. He's just been introduced to it the last 2-3 weeks or so. But I was listening to his podcast the other day, and he said that he met Buzz Aldrin. And funny, it's so funny to hear him say he met Buzz Aldrin. And he said that guy doesn't look like he went to the moon to me. He said there's no way. Then he said, that there's no way that the first time we went to the moon, we did it. The first time, 250,000 miles, we just put people in a craft and they went and everything's fine.
See, this is...
He brought up a thing. He's like,
intellectual
the first time I tried to drive to Jersey, I ended up in Florida.
Philosophical mumbo jumbo.
The first time you try something, you make a mistake.
Because this might or might not be
Nobody
true.
gets up on a motorcycle and just
But
drives off and I know how to ride a motorcycle now. Everything's
this might or might not be true. This is all political. I mean, this is all ideological mumbo jumbo. This might not be true. But you got to ask yourself, what does Jeranism represent? Does it represent the moon landings, NASA, or does it represent the Earth being flat? Got to ask yourself, what is he representing? This is what he's representing. He represents flat Earth. That's Jeranism 101, flat Earth. He is not representing what he's talking about. All this filler he's pumping up, all this rah-rah intellectual philosophical mumbo jumbo that he's pushing right now, everything that it's not even addressing this article that explains to you what he is. He's not even addressing the article. He hasn't. I've done this video since the beginning. He's talked about this article. He's said he was going to talk about it. Now he read the quote and that's it. I'm waiting for him to actually talk about this article. Talk about how bad it is and why it's bad. Because he said it was bad. And he said it in the beginning. I hope that's not it. Because if he said that, clearly that part's a lie. If he said, if that's all he's going to end with, which I think he is, he's not going to really go into this article anymore, which makes sense. But this article really explains what Jeranism is. Because only a shill will do this. And even if I believed in the flat Earth, and if I was on Jeranism status, and if I'm talking to a reporter, I wouldn't talk like that. And I swear all the time, but I'm like, hold on, I'm talking to a reporter, and I represent flat Earth. I at least want to sound so intelligent that there's nothing that can be taken out of context. And that even if it is, I can point to and say, that quote is a lie. I never said that. Never said that. And you can be believed. But you're so arrogant, you don't even see that this quote that he quoted you saying, which makes sense that you would say it because only an arrogant shill would say something like that, which you said it, you don't even realize. That part totally is oblivious to you.
good. No, everything takes time to learn. Everything takes, you don't just go to the moon. You don't just go to the moon, pop out, dance around, get a phone call from the president, plant a flag, do some tests, jump back in, launch. These guys aren't even scared. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. I mean, listen to, it's ridiculous. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Oh, I see some super chats. I gotta check these.
Yeah, I get your super chats.
I'll read these. Please stop fighting globe theory blind supporters. Yeah, I agree with you. Focus on building a simple, pragmatic, proof-based, logical body of evidence and let the proofs speak for themselves. Thank you, Antonio. Appreciate that.
Proof.
Yes. In fact, I mean, the hardest part is that I want that experiment. That's what I want. And I just talked about the 4 mile one, but I'm thinking we can go bigger. We can go much bigger. Once you get out to distances 25 miles or more, you're talking about such huge amounts of curvature that they can't be refuted. I mean, but granted, we see mountains 175 miles away, and we just need Mick West to come out and say, it's a refraction and standard refraction, lifting mountains.
He's selling pipe dreams.
Mountain ranges being lifted miles high in the sky, displayed for you on the horizon. Makes a lot of sense.
He's selling you pipe dreams. Notice how he never even got to the point of that, what he said. I mean, think about it. Well, let's go bigger in our experiment, go bigger and bigger. You should be thinking to yourself, again, this is how you should be thinking if you're a critical thinker. Wherever he says about the flat earth, the conclusion should be me coming away with the earth being flat. However, he just gave you his quote unquote experiment that he wants to do bigger. And the conclusion of it, he doesn't even tell you. And it's like going bigger. Your experiment should never be half-assed. It should be what it is to prove what it is. But this little will build inch by inch by inch by inch. It's good to accumulate funds, but it's dishonest. You know,
Let me see what else we have here. New super chat. Okay, what is going on here? From Hulk Smash. You said ball. Just give me a break. I've seen people take dating samples from lava that came out of a volcano, settled. They went and tested it, came back a couple million years old. So what? Okay, there, right there, it tells you that anything else that you're measuring a certain date for, you're probably wrong. But the scientific paradigm is that everything has to match their world. So of course everything matches. The numbers all match. I always use my example of my theme park. I know it's probably getting old to most people, but again, for somebody who goes around saying how much math is important and how math it proves reality and this and that, I mean, I can
it's
give you
filler.
the mathematical specs for my fake theme
Address
park.
the article.
I can give you a book of them. It will tell you every step.
Come on, man. Address the part you have highlighted. Address that part at least. Address that part in depth. You address everything else concerning conspiracy. Address what's in front of you.
Every stone laid where, and how exact distance from here to here, and the trajectory of different rides, and how many the attendance figures, and the money that the concession stand brings in, and it's all completely fake. The math works, but that doesn't make things real.
Okay.
It's just math. It's just numbers on paper. What is math? I mean, what is math that people think it's so great? So if somebody were to, if I got some smart person, we'll do a little box here.
Okay. I don't know what he's doing now, but this is the last thing I'm going to do to show how much of a bullshit artist he is. Because whatever he's doing, you should be telling yourself, this better show me something that makes me say to myself, you know what? The earth can be flat. This, whatever he's about to show you and illustrate to you, I'll go back a little bit, but I promise you this. When he's done with this drawing, whatever he's about to do, ask yourself, is the earth flat from what he demonstrated?
Where I'll do a trick. Great. Math is just numbers. The math works, but that doesn't make things real. It's just math. It's just numbers on paper. What is math? I mean, what is math that people think it's so great? I mean, it's just, there's so many tricks in math that, here, I'll do a trick for you. You want to see a trick? Let's go to a trick.
Remember, we got to ask yourself.
So if somebody were to, if I got some smart person like Reg Rhetoric or something said, here, we're going to do a little math thing here where we'll do a little box here. And this is like magnetic, or what do they call them? Magical squares or something like that, I think they're called. Where you do these boxes.
Why is he showing you this? And I said, okay, Reg, you're super good at math, so let's have a race for the first one who can make every box in every direction add up to the same number. And you have the numbers, whatever you want, 1 through 16, since there's 16 boxes here. And I just need to know the pattern to win. That's all. And then I could say, somebody in the chat, let me get a number here. Somebody in the chat, give me a number 1 to 100. This is salesman.
Any number, 1 to 100. First one to write a number in there, I'm taking that one. Any number 1 to 100. First person who puts it out there. I don't see one yet. Still not yet. Still not yet. Yeah, you can say anything you want. It's just another language. It's like Spanish.
This dude has like 1,000 people in his chat.
No 17 boxes, Bob. 16. All right, first was Flat Joe, went with the 69. All right, 69 it is. So if I told somebody else, hey, these boxes have to all add up to 69, you can't use the same number twice. People would be like, what? And they, even mathematicians might not know. But by knowing the code, which I do know, watch me get this right. I hope. No, I did wrong. I think I need to go, wait, 7, yeah. Yes. Sorry, I had to think. Yes.
Again, this is an example of philosophical mumbo jumbo. This is philosophical filler. This is razzle dazzle. This is nothing other than nothing. This is a nothing burger. He's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. He's just filling up time without saying anything. Because you should be asking yourself, hey man, this what you're doing should illustrate at the end that this earth can be flat. Because other than that, you're not telling me anything. Just razzle dazzle.
Yes. Yes. I think that is, oops, thinking, sorry, I got it wrong again. Thinking, yes, and then here, and here, and then here, and here, and here, and here, and what else would we have? What else do we need here? Trying to think of the numbers left. So we have a 13 and a... And what do we have to add up to? What was the number again?
69.
That's how much I'm paying attention. 69. No, 69? Shoot, I think it was 69. 69, so this would be one of these. And this would be one of these. And this would be one of these. And this would be one of these. I don't know. Did we get that right? 49 plus 1 is 50. 69 going this way. 11, 8 is 19 plus 40, 19, 21 plus 48, 69. 51 and 3 is 54, 64, 69. 45, 54, 69. See that? This way, 69. This way, 69. That's a magical square. Now, this is just math, but it's just I just know the pattern. It doesn't mean that I am smart at math or anything. I just know the pattern. But math can be used as tricks like that. It's just because somebody figured out the pattern, and if you want to learn it, it's very easy. You just start out by thinking 9, so whatever number you put there. Was anybody impressed by that? Do you want to learn how to do it?
No, I know. And you know why?
To learn how to do it?
No, and you know why? Because this is razzle dazzle. Because the conclusion of this doesn't make me believe that the earth is flat. It doesn't, I don't even know what it's made to believe, other than the fact that you can manipulate math, but that doesn't explain anything. You're not saying anything because I know 1 plus 1 equals 2. So you show me that, okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2, that's reality. We understand that. And what you just showed me with this magical box is that what?
Probably not. If you ever want to learn, you can ask me and I'll teach you. It's pretty cool. What did Bob say? Oh, thank you, Bob. Well, you really could do little squares too, this way and this way. You're a mathematician. No, I'm not. Did you like that? I'll do another one for you. All right, here you go. I'll teach you how to do it. Then you can say you learned something.
Of course.
All right.
Because it's filler.
What you do is whatever number we put here. So let's do
filler.
I don't know. We'll do 44. Oh my God. Watch once because this is all you get. So start with a 1 in this box and an 8.
Oh no, I gotta fast forward this crap.
6. Nope. 4.
Look at this.
And want to see another one.
This is all filler. This has nothing to do with the flat earth, and you know it.
Did I mess that up? 1, 2, 3.
It's insane.
150. This will trip.
This has nothing to do with flat earth. Nothing. You can say, well, you know, it's a shell, blah, 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 blah. But this is my point. It's just, this is what a shill does. This is what a shill does.
40.
This is a bullshit artist.
54. So it's
I'm not manipulating this. I'm just going through it. He's not going to get rid of this video. It's up.
Pattern.
But when you cut through bullshit, you can see crap like this. He's not saying anything.
We'll leave that.
He's going to do another one?
So, I mean, the product of that love equals the product of two people's masses over the time that they've been together times the love constant. And really, it could equate to, I mean, it could come out to anything. And this could end up being true just because things are built based on that equation. It doesn't mean that the equation is reality. It doesn't mean that in any way. I mean, when Newton came, Newton didn't know the gravitational constant.
I'm scared to even address that.
G. It was in his equation, and it was multiplied by, you know. So let's look at like what gravity tells us here. But basically, what I'm trying to say is you can take these numbers and manipulate them however you want. And that's what they've done. And then they've gotten stuck because now that you've adopted these numbers, you have to stay with them. So, oh, I did have that I was going to show you, but I'll do that after. Talking about length contraction, which is hilarious. But let's say that so the force of gravity, oops, I still might up there. So they say the force of gravity equals.
And see, here's the thing. He hasn't even gotten to what the point is. Because originally, he was just talking about math and reality. But he's showing that, okay, this magical box, not all math is reality. Because I can make this a magical box. And he makes a magical box. Then he talks about gravity and says this isn't real. You can just make up any equation. Love and it's kind of like, but aren't you supposed to talk about the Earth being flat? Because everything you're saying can go either way. But again, this is all filler. You know this. This is all filler. This has
Product of the
nothing to do with
masses.
nothing. This is a big nothing burger because you can debate it one way or the other. There's nothing definitive about what you're saying, one way or the other.
You got M1. Sorry if I mess this up.
Philosophical
M1, M2
mumbo jumbo.
over distance squared times big G, basically. Right? What is this number? What is big G? Well, it's 0.000. All right, so this is the number, or as 8 times, this is the problem with, sorry, I don't know math equations. I don't know the exponent, whatever. The F force, the letter F, is measured in newtons. And yet, if you're talking about M1, M2 over distance squared,
he's doing more
well,
math.
that's not measured in newtons. What's that measured in? That's measured in, would be kilograms or pounds, whatever. Kilograms over meters, kilometers, whatever, meters squared. So these two numbers don't equate. They don't. How do you match this up? Well, you can't. So how do you make them equal? Well, they basically take it and they say, okay, well, if this won't work, then let's see what newtons are measured in, or let's see what gravity is measured in. And big G, which they need to have, is measured in meters.
This is my point. This is all just filler. This is not even. This is intellectual hooey. He's just. This is the sum of just a salesman bullshit. He's not telling you anything. He's not giving you anything new. He's just giving you things to chew on, just things to think about. It's like little nuggets of information. That's all he's giving you. But they're not even information. It's just little nuggets of philosophy. You know, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's good filler. People like listening to it, and I like listening to it. And you can listen to it if you know, if you're just listening to it. But I know it's bullshit. I know he's just filling space.
So
He's literally like
humanly and distance that is Planck length. So don't even have it right. In fact, if you look up, I don't know if you know what the CODATA list of physical constants, guess what holds number one spot? What is
see, and that's what he's not saying anything. And he's still on his blue screen. Get off the blue screen. Oh, here's the part. Richard Feynman.